amazing students! My name is Teacher Irene, and today we're going to learn a useful way in expanding our vocabulary. When you read novels, short stories, news, and other reading materials, you may encounter some difficult and unfamiliar words. Now, what are you going to do in order for you to know the meaning of these words? Maybe consult Mr. Google, use dictionary apps, or maybe ask someone. But what if none of them is available? That's what we're going to solve through the skill that we need to enhance to improve our vocabulary.
Let us examine the sentence on the board. After a time, glaciers or slowly moving rivers of ice formed many parts of the earth. Let's say the underlined word glaciers is the unfamiliar word. Do you think there are words or phrases in the sentence that will help us understand the word glacier? That's right. The expression or slowly moving rivers of ice. Now, this expression could be our clue, or sometimes the clues are the meaning themselves. These clues are words in a sentence which help us understand the specific meaning of a new and familiar word. And the special meaning of a word depends on the other words in the sentence or the surrounding group of sentence, also known as context. Understanding a sentence or text is essential to have a full grasp of information embedded in it. Though dictionaries and other online resources are helpful, they are not always available. Context clue helps you to figure out the meaning of a word based on the information in the sentence or paragraph that contains the word. Prior knowledge also helps in decoding the meaning of text.
There are a lot of context clues, but in this lesson, we're just going to focus on these types of context clues. These are definition clue, synonym, appositive, simile, mood clues, inference, structural analysis, antonym, and example clues.
Definition clues. Some authors give the meaning of the word. Now let us remember that a definition has three parts. The first part is the term, the second part is the genus or the class, and the third part is the differentia or differentiating characteristics. Now in our example, Celine is an ecologist, a scientist who specializes in the relationship between living things and their environment. The unfamiliar word here is ecologist. Now, what is the clue or what are the clues in this sentence? There you go. A scientist who specializes in the relationship between living things and their environment. Now, how would we know if these are the definition clues? Now, let's take a look at this. The ecologist is the term, a scientist is the genus or class, and the rest of the phrases or the expressions are differentiating characteristics. So remember, always remember that a definition has three parts: the term, genus, and differentiating characteristics. So we have the ecologist, and then scientist, and then who specializes in the relationship between living things and their environment. Synonym. The meaning of the unknown word is understood because the idea is repeated in familiar word. In our example, In his complete uniform and with his shining sword, the man appeared bellicose or warlike. The unfamiliar word here is bellicose, and this unknown word is understood because the idea is repeated in familiar word, which is the word warlike. Also, it's easier to identify because we have the coordinating conjunction or. The next clue that we have is what we call appositive. An appositive is a descriptive word or phrase placed beside the unknown word and is often enclosed or set off by commas. It is also called double comma clues. In our example, many eleemosynary or philanthropic agencies are helping the poor and disadvantaged people. The difficult word or the unfamiliar word here is eleemosynary, and it's easier to figure out its meaning because the descriptive words or phrases are placed next to it, and these are philanthropic agencies. The next clue that we can find in our reading texts is simile. The word as and like are used to show comparison. For example, the child's eyes glistened like the bright stars in the sky. The unfamiliar word here is glistened, and we have the expression like. So we're trying to compare two ideas here. We have child's eyes and then the stars. So when we say glistened, we may mean twinkled or sparkled. When we say mood clues, it's like summarizing the entire clues. That's why it is also called a summary or summary clues. Let's take a look at our example. First, he lost his girlfriend. Then, he lost his scholarship. Finally, he lost his special privileges in college. He became totally depressed. Now, maybe for some of you, the word depressed is familiar. But of course, for some, the word depressed is a little difficult to understand. Now, let us try to summarize the clues in this example. The first event is he lost his girlfriend. The next one is he lost his scholarship. And the next one is he lost his special privileges in college. Now, if we are going to summarize these three events, okay, we will be able to come up with the correct meaning of the word depressed. If these things happen to you, more likely you will get depressed. Or we can also say you will be broken-hearted. We will be able to understand or to get the meaning of the unfamiliar word in the reading texts through inference. Inference is the process of drawing reasonable conclusions from facts or bits of evidence. Let's take a look at our example. Rene gave his fake ID card to the guard and held his breath. The guard was busy talking to a friend and gave it a perfunctory glance. So Rene breathed normally again. The difficult word here is perfunctory. And just like the detective, let us look for the evidences in this example. So the first event was Rene gave his fake ID card to the guard, and then we have also held his breath. And then the guard was busy talking to a friend. So Rene breathed normally again. Therefore, the meaning of perfunctory glance could be uninterested. In structural analysis, direct clues to the meaning are taken from the analysis of the word parts. For example, Prolonged fever made the child suffer from dehydration. The difficult or unfamiliar word here is dehydration. Now let's analyze the word parts of the word dehydration. When we say de, it means down. When we say hydro, it means water. When we say shun, it means act of. So if we're going to put them together, we will be able to come up with the meaning act of drying up. So when we say dehydration, it means act of drying up. The next clue that we can use in figuring out the meaning of the difficult word is antonym. Antonym is the opposite meaning of a word, showing contrast in a sentence with the use of the conjunction but. In our example, Maricel was very talkative, but Rico remained taciturn. The unfamiliar word here is taciturn. And we have the presence of the conjunction but. So the opposite of taciturn is talkative. So when we say taciturn, it means silent or quiet, which is the opposite of talkative. Sometimes some authors provide examples or additional explanations or summaries to help you understand an unfamiliar word, and we call them example clues. For example, celestial bodies such as the sun, moon, and stars are governed by predictable laws. The difficult expression here is celestial bodies. Now, we have the presence of the word or the expression such as. So we would know that the next expressions or the next words are the examples of the celestial bodies. So when we say celestial bodies, these are the sun, the moon, and the stars. So we will have an idea, or we will have meaning in our mind what celestial body or what celestial bodies mean. Are you now ready for our exercises? Let's begin. Determine the meaning of the underlined word by using some clues in the sentence. After seeing the picture of the starving children, we all felt compassion or pity for their suffering. What is the clue in the sentence? That's right. The clue is the word pity. Now, what type of clue is used in this sentence? Amazing. It is synonym. Paula was suspended from school because of several infractions of the rules, including smoking in the bathroom and dressing improperly. What is the clue, or what are the clues in this sentence? The clues are including smoking in the bathroom and dressing improperly. So when we say infractions, we could mean violations. Okay? We also have other clues in this sentence like suspended, and we have also the word rules. Okay, so when we say infractions of the rules, it sounds like violations of the rules. Okay, now since we have examples here, examples of infractions or violations, what type of clue is used? That's right, we have example clues. Martha is a curator, a person who is responsible for looking after a museum's collection. The difficult word here is curator. Now, what do you think is the meaning of curator? That's correct. When we say curator, it is a person who is responsible for looking after a museum's collection. Now, since the meaning of the word is given in this sentence, What type of clue is used by the author? Amazing. That is definition. Now let's take a look at our sentence. Okay, a curator is a term, person is the genus or the class, and who is responsible for looking after a museum's collection. That is our differential or differentiating characteristics. So we have the three parts of a definition. While Luis is hardworking, his indolent brother spends most of the time watching TV or sitting around with friends. The difficult word here is indolent. What are the clues or what is the clue in this sentence? That's right. The word is hardworking. And then we also have another clue, okay, the word while. Okay, so while may mean but. Okay, so it seems that these two words, hardworking and indolent, are opposite. Now, since this is the case, what do you think is the clue used in this sentence? Amazing. That is antonym. Katie's belligerence surprised everyone. She threw her book across the room, glared at Chris, and then pushed him to the floor. The unfamiliar word here is belligerence. Now, what are the clues or what is the clue in this or in these sentences? That's right. The clues here are she threw her book across the room, glared at Chris, and then pushed him to the floor. Now, these events would give us an idea about the meaning of the word belligerence. It seems that there was a commotion, okay, in this example. And we could conclude that Katie is an ill-mannered person, or she could be an aggressive person. Since we have summed up the events in this example, what do you think is the clue used in these sentences? That's right. We have inference.
That's all for today, my dear students. I hope this short video will help you in understanding some of the terminologies that you will encounter in your reading texts. Enjoy learning and see you next time.